So here, I want to be so blade. Okay, so here I'm much more specialized in my body architecture. I'm coming in tight and I'm working in my rotation leg here. You're sitting centered and you're rotating between your center axis. Okay, so there's advantages to this and disadvantages to this. So looking quickly at a contrary point of view, or in contrast, allows you to shift more effective mass into your blow. It's more of a shifting style of striking. So as the first ones, almost all of your momentum and your power in your strikes is coming off of a rotation. Okay, so it's almost purely rotation that's giving you power. Power, rotation through the hips, rotation through the core, up into the shoulders, that's letting the hands go. Okay, so contrasting this rotation, now we're going to anchor the one hip, and instead of rotating like this, we're going to anchor that one and rotate around an anchored point. So you can see this here. So this point doesn't rotate back as the other one comes forward. Instead, it stays forward. You can even shift it a little bit, allowing my whole or more of my total body mass to go forward. So now I'm summating the forces of shifting horizontally with the rotational component. So you can do a compression on the back leg as well. So you can load the back leg, load more elastic tissue, and also this bend in the leg allows you to utilize the strong muscles of the quadricep and glutes, as well as the hamstring, calf muscle, and connecting to the fascia as well. But you can load this leg and use it to fire you forward, and then hinge on the lead leg and add rotation. So now we're utilizing multiple components to create a very powerful strike. Good look. Let's see if I can pull this off. Something like this. Hey!
You can't wait on other people to be what you've been called to be. You can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just got to run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, run, but I can't stop running because you're not running with me. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life won't chase it with you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
stop resisting gravity. I allow gravity to pull me. So I incorporate that gravitational pull into my motion. Hey! Hey! And the same would you could be using gravity if you had to jump up and hit on the way down. So you've got gravitational pull, utilizing it in that way. Another fashion, you could come up high, come down. So you're creating a high potential energy, so loading elastic potential in the body, getting ready for a rotational component. I'm using a driving motion, horizontal drive. So I've got effective mass, moving my mass through space here. Rotational force, elasticity in the body, and I can utilize gravity as well. You can do this many different ways. very different in terms of composition or structure or durability compared to a bag. So when you strike a bag, the bag, depending on how hard and heavy it is and how full it is, but the bag will have a certain degree of give. So when you strike something, there's displacement, you're moving the object, but there's also deformity, where you actually change the shape and volume or dimensions of the object. When you strike a bag, you're getting a significant amount of deformation, changing the structure of the bag. The bag actually receives and morphs a bit around your fist, and this changes the energy transference dynamic quite substantially. A Makiwara, on the other hand, is a lot more rigid. So this is very useful in terms of conditioning, for one thing, but another being that by the nature of its structure, the wood has a certain degree of flex. So when you input a force, you create a flex and a potential in the wood. That potential then wants to come back. So it's giving you a feedback force, which a bag doesn't do. There's just a clean diffusion, deformation, displacement. Here, the displacement loads a potential that wants to come back against you. So it gives you some feedback. It gives you energy feedback, which really helps you feel if your alignment is good, or if your internal connection and internal tensioning on your connective tissue and your muscle and kinetic linking is good. Because you'll feel it straight away with the feedback coming back. Whereas you hit a bag, the energy all flows woof into the bag, and then it's gone. I'm just going to warm up for striking on the Makiwara. So what I'm starting to do here is actually just loosen the tissue up in my forearms. I've had a few injuries in the past which have really tightened this up. Also, a lot of typing and that kind of thing tends to tighten up the extensor muscles here. So I just want to loosen up the fascia, warm up the muscles, stimulate blood flow, and yeah, just you can think of this as a warm-up preparation. You know, stimulate the nerves, get the blood flowing, loosen the tissue. So I'm actually using different surfaces and different techniques, but a lot of what I'm using is the blade or bone here to actually massage. So I'm going to do this for a minute or two. I'm breathing down. Okay, so loosen up tissue in the forearms. Okay, now I'm just going to warm up the hands a little through opening and closing with a bit of oomph, a bit of intent. Okay, rubbing, applying internal pressure, rotation. Okay, grab, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze. Okay. Okay, extension, feel my bicep, it's also really tight here, so it's getting a bicep extension, stretching it out a little. Okay, get into the bicep a little bit as well. Feel it, it's a problem area, I've pulled it and hurt it numerous times in the past, so it's a little niggly. Okay. Thoracic extension. Oh, okay, you can see shoulder extension, yeah. Here, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm clicking and creaking everywhere. Okay, that's the fingers. So stretching the fascia, connective tissue in the hands, warming up the muscles in the hands. Okay. So push back. Push back. Squeeze. Okay, I'm going to start on the Makiwara. I'm just going to play around a bit. Feel so this connection with my hand to the Makiwara, I can feel that in my hip flexor, I can feel it in my core, I can feel it driving into the floor, which is what you want. Okay. So you can play with utilizing shifting of your center of mass. So I'm shifting my center down and utilizing gravity. At the same time, I'm utilizing the strong hip extensor muscles of the glute. So you're getting a feel for gravity, you're getting a feel for body geometry. Okay, what I'm going to run through now is I'm just going to do a various set of strikes for conditioning. Again, I'll probably fast forward most of this so it saves your time. So strike surfaces, I'll just run through them quickly. The main strike surfaces I'm going to be utilizing are the two knuckles here, but I will be conditioning the whole hand. I'll just show you quickly. So here, these two, those two separately. The bone here in the hand, I don't know how well you'll see it, that's a pretty decent strike surface there. It's quite a solid hard bone. It's another one there, depending on angle. So this one, you come in. This one's more of a over and down, cutting back, depends situationally. This large nodule here, it's also quite good. Again, it's nice for coming back and in. So I'll be doing that one here as well. And then, yeah, blade of the forearm bone here, and the elbow are the main ones. Okay, so I'm just going to get started. I'll probably run through about 10 odd repetitions on a spot and then change, and then I'm just going to cycle through. And the idea here is to kind of create micro trauma to the tissues, to the structures, to the bones. And I want to emphasize the word micro trauma. You don't want to cause damage, you just want to stress the structures a bit, that it encourages them to, that it triggers an adaptive response. And that adaptive response in the skin will be like increased collagen, it'll increase the durability, the toughness. It'll make it a little bit more leathery, a little less likely to split. It'll be make more resilient to abrasion, all that kind of thing. The bones as well, you're going to create micro trauma in the bones. That will then encourage the body to lay a bit more calcification. It'll increase the bone density a little bit. This is a process that takes a lot of time, but it also requires systematically, periodically exposing the body to stress over time to trigger these adaptations over time. Okay.
Bye.